Hey all, this is Anjali, and today we are going to do switch statement in Java. Like in the previous lectures, we have done how can we use various forms of if. We use independent if, nested if else if ladder, and a simple if else statement. So today we are going to do another statement which is used for checking conditions, that is used for selection criteria, that is switch. So switch, that's a keyword switch. Before we move on to switch, we'll just discuss an example which we'll be doing with if first, and then later on we'll do the same thing using switch. For example, I'm given a question that I have to take a number from the user between 1 to 7 and I have to show the name for that number. Let's say if it is 1, I have to print Monday. If it is 2, I have to print Tuesday. If it is 3, then Wednesday, and so on till Sunday. Something like this. If I imagine that only user can enter from 1 to 7. Okay, let's think of the code for this. So double click on the button show. We come to the code window, and here what we have done is I've taken an integer variable n where I read the value of the text field 1 in my variable n. Then I check if n is equal to 1. As you know that for checking equality, we have to put double equal to sign. So if n is equal to 1, we have to set Monday in the second text field, that is named as T2. So T2.setName Monday will show Monday in that text field. Else if the first condition is false, it will check the second one, that if n is not 1 but it is 2, it will show Tuesday in the text field. Similarly, it will check for 3, 4, 5, 6. And here we are assuming that user enters a number only from 1 to 7. So if it doesn't match with any of the first 6 numbers, we are showing Sunday. But if we think that user might enter a number beyond the limit, that means user might enter a number which goes outside the range. So we can take case 7 also, and then we can give one extra else where we can show that it's an invalid number. So that's up to you totally, like which kind of application you're making. Accordingly, you can choose whether you have to give an else at the end or not. So this will show the days from 1 to 7, that is Monday to Sunday, and if user enters a number which is outside the range, it displays invalid number. So let's see how does it execute, and then we'll be doing the same thing with the help of switch statement. Now the major difference between if and switch is this, that if can be used to check any kind of condition. You have to check greater than, less than, a value is between two values, something like that. So I can check any condition with the help of one or the other form of if. But switch is used only to check equality. Switch cannot be used to check greater than, less than, or any other condition like that. Its purpose is to check equality only. So it becomes easier to write the code where only equality conditions are to be checked. We can write that with the help of switch in a better way in comparison to if. We'll see how. But before that, let's execute this. So day number 3, if I click on show, it show Wednesday. If I click on 8, that's an invalid number. If I enter 6, it's Saturday, and so on. So this is how we're getting the result. Now I'll do the same code with switch, and the result will be same. There won't be any change in the result after that. Before we change the code, let's see the syntax of switch first. So the switch statement is written this way. We write the keyword switch like this. It's all small letters. You can't write S capital. Then in the round brackets, you have to mention a variable. Now again, there is a restriction that this variable has to be either integer or character. It cannot be a float value. Then in curly brackets, you have to give all the cases. Like I have case value 1, then these two dots which are called colon, statements, break, then another case, and like this we have as many cases we want. Now what exactly is done over here? The variable which we have given here with switch is compared with the case values given over here. Like this variable is checked whether it's equal to value 1 or not. If it is, the statements of this case are executed, and break will terminate the switch and takes the control out of the switch block. If it doesn't match, it's okay, it checks with the second case. So any of the matching cases we get, the statements of that case will be executed, and break is given so that after executing that block, the control should come out of the switch. It should not go into the further cases. And we have a special case called default over here. This gets executed if the switch variable does not match with any of the case values. So if it is not matching with any of the case values, the default case will execute. Now I'll change the same code. You can see here all my conditions are based on the variable n. That means the variable which we should give with switch is n. So I write switch n, and then I have to make cases. The first one is Monday, that should come in case 1. Then we had option for case 2. Case 2 will show Tuesday. Then we have for case 3. And we have to add break at the end of every case. Otherwise, the control will move on to the next case without checking any condition. So it will not give any error if you have missed break statement. Rather, if we miss break in the matching case, then it will execute the matching case. Along with that, it will execute the following cases as well. And this special situation is called fall through in Java. So be careful that whenever it is required, you must provide break after every case, so that switch should execute only that case which matches with the value, not the following cases. So as you've seen, I've changed up to case 5. Now this is case 6 is changed. And finally, we have our case 7. Should have a break at the end of case 7 also. And this last else should not be else anymore. It should become default, that if none of the cases above match, we have to execute the statement given in the default, and then the curly bracket for switch gets over. So this is the whole code. Switch n will be matched with the value of the cases. So if n is 1, Monday is shown. If n is 4, Thursday is shown. And if it does not match with any of the cases, whatever I have in default, that will be executed. Thus, this code will show us the same result as we got with the help of if. So there is no change in the output, but this is just another way to do the same thing. And as a programmer, it's totally your choice which you want to go for. Like now, the code will give me the same result. I enter 6, I get Saturday. I enter 2, I get Tuesday. And that's it. Hope you understood how does it work. Thank you.